This legion marches.
Welcome back to Total Warhammer 3 in part 9 of our Plaguefather SFO Grimmhammer campaign. We are back at long last. SFO has been repaired, although we are now playing on a much more stripped down version of the campaign. All we are rolling with now is SFO, the building progression mod, and then the better camera mod. So you are aware of what is going on and why things are going to look a little bit different for the next couple episodes, probably for the rest of the campaign. We've got our units set up in a bit of a bulky kind of legion formation, trying to take down the defenders of Chiang here. We might end up claiming the settlement, but for now we're just trying to smash on into Cathay, snag as many souls and gold coins as we can, and we're going to go ahead and flee on away after that. Let's get to it. Most important targets for us to be dealing with are going to be those Jade Lances. I'm just going to move up to this side here. I'd rather not fight the entire army moving up the main body portion of that hill. And move these other Nurglings into the woods over here, and all of our swamp cavalry all the way through. We've got some hounds hiding in the woods over on this side, and there are the shotguns to worry about. For now, though, we'll let our Nurglings move on over into formation. We'll be dropping down as spear leeches left and right on the balloon team, as we've got no units that can actually do damage to them with our squad currently here. We're going to need some more missile troops or just some flyers. Actually very surprised they haven't sent the Lancers on down. Let's go ahead and have our Hound Dogs come out. We're not going to give them the attack order on the Peasant Horsemen, just so they don't think that that's where they are attempting to smash into. It's like we're rotating Iron Hail guns to try to assist, and their Jade Lances are going all the way back, so they're just taking a aggressive retreat. Gonna get shot at a little bit by the Peasant Archers, but I think that's fine. Let's bring the infantry up and around. They're gonna keep retreating away from us, so we're gonna have to keep advancing. Luckily now we have a little bit better of an advance. They're going to charge in. They're likely to try to have the archers assist. Let's go ahead and pull the doggos away. And if the peasant horses want to pursue, that is not a fight that they can win. Let's bring the Nurglings up to this position. If they're just going to keep retreating. Right, hounds, you come on up and around and maybe crash back into these peasant horses. See if we can't scare a few more of them off. These Nurglings just rotate a little bit so that way they crash into them. We'll see them far too late. Any other Nurglings that aren't moving up as part of the team? None that I see at the moment. Hound Dogs smash back in there. Although it's not a very organized charge, so let's go ahead and pull them away. And back in. Rotate the groups so they're not getting shot at too much by the peasant archers. They've decided to give us the hill, which is a huge mistake. Baron of the Bog, come on up the hill. Let's go ahead and help out the Hound Dogs. Their lances are still up on the very top of the hill and haven't come on down yet. You guys within there on those long spears, come on up and around. Looks like the archers have found themselves some new targets. Have the toads smash in there, and the other two that haven't been given orders, they can just keep moving up through. How do these shotguns make it that far in sneakily? I'm impressed. Let's send the Hound Dogs up and around, and let's just start pressing the rest of this group in. You guys need to advance with those Iron Hail guns, stop them from firing. We can have Legion move up and deal the rest. Iron Hail guns somehow managed to keep being invisible, which is quite impressive. You all move in and help out with these peasant archers. We'll just overwhelm these Jade Warriors here. Spawn, smash in on these Iron Hail guns. We'll let most of you all work together. I don't see the Jade Lances moving inwards just yet. But I'd make sure these are moving through and trying to shut down different groups of crossbows. Where's the enemy lord? He needs a Spirit Leech. Enjoy. Speaking of, let's go ahead and have you guys move through now to fight with the lances. Go ahead and drop their attack as much as we can here. I will slow them down as well. Those can kind of just smash their way across the front line. Grandfather Nurgle, you duel with the Jade Warriors there. On both sides, we'll have these Plague Bearers go through. The Toads are just smashing on through. Ahead and get these Jade Warrior crossbows. We'll have the Barons all continuing to pursue the lances. Push them in to go after the Magistrate. You just kind of hang out here to make sure your leadership buff is for everyone. Toadies, come on in and make sure those Iron Hail guns don't come back and find juicy targets. Perfect. Our big weakness is just the lack of ability to deal with those balloons. Outside of the obvious, of course. Continue to drop the speed on these lances, if we can still target them. Perfect, and then heals for the Barons of the Bog. As they continue to chase off the cavalry support. Rifles are doing what they can, but luckily, most of those wounds are self-closing. Our lord has so much health as well. Why aren't you chasing this man? All Toads continue to follow the lances, while they're losing some of their leadership. They have the Hounds chase, but should be just fine. You all move in. Whoever's not fighting some Jade Warriors, better fix that. We'll have these Nurglings roll through and keep the crossbows in check. We're really going to lose our Pox Riders. Absolute nonsense. Such is the way, though. I will go ahead and slow those lances so they're not able to keep charging around. It's completely... Wow, they lost. They went away fast. Have you all go back, get a full surround off. Continuing to try to karate chop this lord. It's not going that well. Alright, the lances are broken. We'll go ahead and have the Hounds of Decay come back in. This army definitely needs more in terms of overall leadership. Drop the melee attack of all of these. 4 innocent Cathayans. We'll have the secondary mage come on through. Perfect. Now we just wait for the leadership on the balloons to fall. Everyone find a group of long spears to chase off. We're gonna have to deal with the damage coming out from the balloons. Nothing to do otherwise. And we are completely out of magics as well, so it's on to the fray. Combination of Nurgling and Spawn is doing pretty well, even though we are throwing down with the long spears. Bring these guys back on around. We do have a lot of the mean units with Frenzy that aren't actually fighting. Find someone and give them a hug. Nurgle's blessings on you. Enemy Lord is fleeing, but the balloons have plenty of leadership. That makes things a little bit awkward. What do we do against the balloons? Without units on the ground, the enemy is forced to land. Okay, there they go. They flee. Perfect. A marvelous victory. Alright, we claim victory, but it is going to be incredibly expensive to replace these Pox Riders. We do have to remember to keep our army a little bit more compact, that way we're not suffering for all those insane leadership penalties that demons have to deal with. We will take this, we'll go ahead and sack this settlement. Here at Chiang. Nurgling at Palanquin. Perfect. He's got, I think, 1 extra speed now. Zacharays at 6. Kislev, Cathay, or Empire. So how have we done this? There is simply no way we've been fighting the Empire in Kislev. Our first battle with Kislev. I'll take the gold. That more than makes up for it. Now we're gonna go ahead and switch ourselves into... Love to do some raiding, but we just lose a little bit too much of our movement. A little ways away from Chiang. Now we'll go back into a march, come back into Nurglish territory. And now that we're here, we can't quite replace the Pox Riders. It says we've got 1 available. Oh no, I'm foolish. We have 1 used out of our 4 capacity. We might just have to replace them with normal old toads. Alright, well, let's grab some of these Nurglings and combine them on together. I'm going to kick this group out. And then we'll go to new Exalted Plague Bearers. And 1 toad. We'll spend the rest of our gold on upgrading main provinces. Here at Dreadrock, we can grab in the Living Tree of Decay, because we definitely need some flyers. That's where all of them are going to be coming from, which is just horrifying. Along these treetops, rancid fruits rot into putrid organic matter, attracting Nurglish servants whose transformations into pupae have already begun. Yep, it's just as horrifying as you would expect. And is there any other... We could afford Pox Riders. The military buildings are so expensive. Good grief. That does get us access to the Great Unclean Ones eventually, so it does make sense, but man, it's a lot of gold. Could it be better spent elsewhere? Upgrading Pig Barter is probably a good call. This one isn't going to give us any more income except for just ancillary from our other buildings, so let's go ahead and come on in. We'll take Pig Barter up to tier 3. We take a single turn, too. Might as well grab a Nurgle Hollow while we're at it. Ugath himself can continue to attrition down the Ash Ridge Mountains. It's very exciting. And he has so many elves back there with arrows that I think we are better suited surrounding them and chucking all sorts of nasty in and over the walls.
Dissolve their flesh.
Exactly. Dissolve their flesh. And we're going to come on back and grab now the Plague Incubation, which will speed up our cycle time for the Living Tree of Decay, and also give them higher cycle effects.
An aid to the Plague Crusade.
Exactly. Do we have any more heroes we can recruit on in? Cultists, Plague-ridden, and Exalted heroes. But do we have the buildings? We do indeed. I'm thinking the best call is going to be another Exalted hero for the dueling capabilities, and we'll bring him up to join up with Kevin. He's got Burning Body for flaming attacks. Horde. I think Horde is always going to be the way then. All of the small passive buffs to Nurglings, which we're going to have in just about every army for their screening potential. So let's go ahead and give you training and the Plaguefather's protection for that extra armor. This is the Grand Duke. Kevin is our mage. It's been a bit since we've been into this campaign, can't you tell? For the Grand Duke's army, though, I really think it's best to just keep going down the magic line, and then we'll power down his blue path from there. Let's go for Soul Blight for that melee defense reduction as well as leadership drop. Be great to debuff mass groups of the Cathayans. Yeah, Barbaros, we should have recruited you up at the Shadowstone Bay, but you will make your journey up to join the Grand Duke, and it shall be glorious. Speaking of, do you have the green box? We've got the green pox passed out as many places as we can, is because each one is 20% more research rate. Yeah, it's already circulating. So what we're going to do is what someone suggested, is what we need to summon in a plague cultist with the fever. Give us a little bit more favor. So fever and duration. Are there any that make it more likely to spread? Yes, but that also is wasting our military time. Let's go for the rot, just to help out with our Nurglings as well. So we'll grab ourselves a very expensive plague cultist. We need 400. So that's what we're going to save for. And then we're going to send them over into the Empire and let that start spreading around and just gaining us as much gold as possible. Right then, that's about all we can get to for this turn. Let's check our diplomacy. I doubt there's a whole lot we can get up to. On aggression with Rictus. Rictus is throwing down with Grimgore. Let's let him continue to get curb stomped. The rats are an excellent punching bag for us for now. Right, the turn is ours. The Green Duke, or the Grand Duke, has passed on some plagues around, which is beautiful. Glad to see the plagues are still working. I do want to come on down and attack the temple, but I know that there are Cathayans nearby. Before we make that call, let's see if Kugath can finally finish off Emmerich. He is in a noble prestige stance. Are you able to do any kind of replenishing behind those walls, friend? Let's go only one more turn of attrition. Sitting outside the walls like this is quite boring. We need to crash on it and break some skulls. Okay, we've got the 426 we need. Let's go on up to, I think... Can we summon the Plague Cultist here at Kugath? That would just be great. Yep, Plague Cultist here. We'll go for Rot, Fever, and Pestilence. Excellent. Concoct the Plague. Welcome, Cormac. Your job is now to come on through into the Empire. It'll be a long journey, but once you arrive, it's going to be glorious. And we might have to go through Sylvania a bit, but get moving there, Cormac. Find up some new friends on the way. Forcibly, if you must. My Grand Duke. Want to know what's going on. I also wouldn't mind just kind of hanging out and playing defense in Chiang. See no more Cathayans. Let's go ahead and take this auto-resolve. Perfect vigor for the boys. We only lose a few. And we'll go ahead and occupy Chiang. It's a lovely plague, and we gain some favor for our rebels. Perfect. Lurkers Bubonic are back. I think I want them in Kugath's army. For you, my friend. Thinking we'll just give you a few more, or just one more Hound of Decay, while we wait for the Furies to come on in. We shall have them soon. But we need more speedy units, as that's kind of the best way to take down Cathay. Hanyu Port is besieged by the Jinshin rebels. I've never seen that happen. Who took down the Iron Dragon? There's no way Dragon Bro is gonna be cool with that. Let's drop in on Sir Stuart, the Curse of the Leper. Looking good. Let them replenish up. And we can come on back over and hang out with Kugath in our turn. Yeah. Right turn, Kugath to gain a new plague for the man himself. Rebellion at Ruin's End. Okay, that's interesting. We're not going to necessarily be able to turn around and deal with that. Ooh. Attrition just ramped up massively, so... Still can't finish them off without losing any troops. And there's a good chance we will from the fighting itself, but if we take it nice and slow, blast them with our artillery, should see elves turning and running before the fight really gets going. Emmerich will be at full health very soon.
Make them run.
Fighting him is always going to be a mess, but we'll deal with him momentarily. Anyone coming after the Grand Duke? Newport is no longer under siege. Go ahead and repair this building for 500. That's quite a bit. Let's see who's nearby. So, Grand Duke, you come on out of the settlement. Go into an ambush stance for me. Is there any better ambush options nearby? 80%? Beautiful. Hide in this little cluster of tumors. Pack the whole army inside. It's as horrifying as you'd expect. Pig Barter can definitely defend itself. Ruin's End likely can't. And I think that's just fine. That is the cycle of life. Here in Pig Barter, I really wouldn't mind an extra growth building. Leadership went under siege, more corruption. Or just better control. Better control is like a pretty solid idea. Let's just go for a siege. Time to kneecap Emmerich. Pyrrhic victory, he can hold out for 6 more turns. I think it's time to speed that on along. Let's see what the Ash Ridge... Oh, wait, never mind. It's going to be out on the field directly. That makes things a little bit spicy. There's going to be an absolute heap of elves. One more turn, then.
I'll dissect them.
One more turn, then. I don't quite like that. They can split up pretty aggressively. Slow and steady is how we take down Emmerich. So then I'm going to come on back over, and we are definitely going to grab the growth building. Black Fortress is got its Rebellion 2 coming along. Well, that's not going to be great. We do have a few rot flies there, and they have that terrorizing buzz. Hopefully that's going to be enough. We skip through, and another slightly uneventful turn.
Blessed with disease.
Alright, turn is ours, and apparently the camera settings would like to kick on up. Get out of here, you. Technology research, disease, destruction, and decay. These are what perfectly virulent breeding grounds require. But of course they do. The natural order of things take down Horden, and we gain ourselves a Berserker Sword. We could have someone pop out and go for the karate chop, but then we are missing out on the extra units in here. Where did these guys' replenishment come from? Oh, he's combining units. Very clever. We're at Pyrrhic victory with medium casualties. Let's go ahead and finish these fools off. We've been waiting. Go ahead and stack the settlement for the gold. And then we'll go ahead and claim it. Before we do, though, let's have Samoth come out and take down Horden. You, the Infernal Champion. And then just pop out and give this guy a karate chop. Critical success, even. Escape unscathed. We gain a Berserker Sword and 600 favor. Well, that's awesome. Let's have Kugath then turn around and take down the Ash Ridge Mountains.
Our most acceptable outcome.
Go ahead and repair this on up, no matter how pricey it is. And we'll go ahead and chuck in the control building here. Upgrading up to the Tumid Hollow makes things a lot better defended. That's because the tier 1 is just nothing but Nurglings.
The Plague Weaver.
Champions of Decay is something we have missed out on. This is going to allow us to recruit Plague-ridden in all provinces. There's no reason to not be able to do that. Cool.
I kill.
Zorgov will have you just continue to be hard to hit. We'd like our heroes to be very tanky. Soul Blight with the Grand Duke. Or Spirit Leech. Zapping the dragons is going to be very difficult, but... Oh, wow. Shoots, towers are spitting out all sorts of goodies now. Factories have been transformed to sludge. Not yet onto the eye crust section, so let's continue on here into this one. Cooldown for Lore of Nurgle and Death Spells sounds pretty great. Bonus versus infantry for beasts. We don't have too many of those just yet. Let's go for the extra winds of magic and then a cooldown reduction to all Lore of Nurgle and Death Spells. But our toads could have more armor. Armor for toads.
Nurgle's
We do love the
excellent
beasties.
cause would benefit.
Well, you were slurping up all sorts of awful on your lips. Whoa. Nurgle's campaign. Still 100% movement, so I thought we had just dropped you into ambush. But if we haven't, we'll let you stay for one more turn and see if they try anything. I'll go ahead and drop this hero out and see if you can't take down Jiwen. We have the gold for it. Oh, but you failed. There's Stuart. He's not allowed to just yet. Wanted to see if we could force it anyway. Alright, well, Adriel has retreated on down south, likely to go find Imric once more, so we need to stamp out these high elves quickly. Move you down south a little bit and then back up. Stay in that ambush. I'm sure we're going to catch someone unawares very soon. Alright, the Tonazars will have Cormac continue to travel. Moving through the Badlands now, which looks like Scrag is taking over. Not something I normally see. He is very unfriendly. Yes, well, that is the way. We stabbed our friends in the back. We're still having to try to recover from it. Semoth, you just joined back up. You don't have to worry so much about enemy heroes. Let's go into March. Let's see if there's anyone here in the Bone Gulch. Ooh, Ilana. We're stuck in March stance.
Beyond even Quaish.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense. We've got plenty of movement. We're gonna have to suffer that one. Let's come on. I think we're in a fine spot, and Cadriel can reach us in March, but if she does so, she's in a really bad place to actually fight. Okay, so let's come on over here to Cathay then, and see if we can't drop out another ash-making plague cultist. Go for the Rot Plague. Actually, I would rather Ague be traveling on around. Ague and Fever. Costs 200? Perfect. Oh, it costs 300. We shall wait. No one's gonna stop us. We can have the Grand Duke move on in towards Hanyu Port to grab another main settlement, which gave us even more research rate. Or what do the main settlements give us? It is recruitment cost reduction and replenishment rate for characters. I see. Well, Hanyu Port is still a great settlement. Kind of scoot on over here in ambush still. Shang Wu is under your control as well. Now we're going to stay in ambush. We'll have to cross the river. But I think we'll have just enough movement to do so. So Stuart, you come on back over and join up with the Grand Duke. And we'll have Barbarous keep moving himself. Grand Duke needs allies. Can we grab anything in terms of flyers just yet? We have one Fury. They're not the best, though. We might want to just wait for the rot flies. Alright, well, in terms of gold, saving is likely what we want to do, unless we were trying to chuck in even more growth. Problem is, these don't actually give you any gold. You need military buildings for gold. Nurgle has such an interesting faction. Say that with all the love I can muster here. Does anyone want to be friends?
Chieftain of the Deep Warren.
Besides Clan Rictus, I'll be friends with Clan Moors.
Treaty deal you seek.
Yes, I would love some Storm Vermin.
I'm right.
By Storm Vermin, I mean no, absolutely not. We want Rattling Guns. Rattling Guns and Zap Cannons. Alright, well, let's save up some gold. So we can put in some more military buildings. skip through. We'll hang out here with the Grand Duke, and we shall end the turn. Grand Duke's ambush was foiled, so that means the Dragon Children are likely Tom Cruise sprinting on back over here. Ashridge Mountains has a plague, and Nurgle is once again ascended. All is well. Which plague do you have currently? Pox and green pox. Roxium has dropped their construction time completely. We have crippled Cathay. Oh, we can't get through over here. I thought we could cross the river. Turns out no. Okay, we'll head up and around then. Which is a little bit concerning. Yao Ying can come from the south at any point. Barbarous, you keep on moving.
Feel Nurgle's vigor.
Heal Nurgle's vigor. And then we'll have a new plague cultist come in over here with the Duke. We'll go for Ague and Fever. And summon in that cultist.
Cultist.
And you're just gonna press on. Well, you can hit the port. There's no reason not to. The Nurgle corruption is gonna allow things to spread faster, but I think Jin Wu will hopefully pass things past into these other Warp Stone, or are we getting some Nurgle corruption in on the Maw now? It already does spit up all sorts of nasty. Start channeling some magic. Go away for any kind of troll buildings in Chiang. Come on into our advanced military. 9,400 for the Lesser Garden of Blight. Very pricey, but it will start making us even more gold. How much for the defenses of the Black Fortress? Quite a bit. But when corruption's maxed out, you get some resistance, which sounds awesome. So we're just going to continue to keep our gold going to our main province. Everything else we're just kind of claiming, keeping it seething with Nurgle corruption. So Kevin, 10% more hit points. Sounds awesome, but let's instead give you that last point into Fleshy Abundance. Heals are key. I'm happy to fight Kelana here. Ourselves a proper battle, as long as the Bone Gulch isn't incredibly full of dragon princes. 2 sets of dragon princes and a star dragon. Alright, Emmerich. What we should do then is pull back. Let her continue to recruit up troops so she thinks she can take on Kugath himself. We'll come on down here after the Bitter Bay. Go for easier targets. Just for now. We'll switch him into summoning stance, come on down. If you guys want to come on and fight him together, that also would work. I just don't want to fight dragon princes at the same time as an expendable army. Sounds miserable. Okay, with our great game mutations, the exponential growth, 500 growth. Yes, please. Looks like we're going to put that in here at the Dragon Isles. 500 growth, construction time reduction, recruitment cost reduction, and then more income. We need that one going on upkeep or on cooldown there. Perfect, and I wouldn't mind coming on over to Kugath and giving him the one that gives us more resistance, as well as those chances to the plague spreading. That way, if we do get jumped by both armies, it should be easy to see them off. Alright, we skip on through. We'll hang out here with Kugath and we'll end the turn. No one jumped, and the wild hunt is over. Not that we ever saw Orion. Nurgle's Black Plague is only a death sentence for the faithless. For the Urfather's true believers, the ravening passage of his great contagion leaves the armor-hard scabs in its wake. Which sounds lovely. Beat someone to death with just scabby arm. Cormac, onward. We're nearly to the Empire. These Skaven plagues? Skaven plagues are pretty nasty. It'd be better if it was ours, but such is the way. The army ran from the Bitter Bay. Come on, Emmerich. I wanted to have that battle with you. Not up here at the Bone Gulch, though. That's too many Dragon Princes for me. Close victory with medium casualties. We'll have to fight this one just to make sure we don't take too many. But I'm actually going to fight that one right away. There, we've got a new army that has retreated back to Hanyu Port. You drop off your plague there. Excellent. That starts spreading some gold around. Can't quite reach Yinggu, so let's come up to the bridge here. Still channeling.
I've souls to
Armbrisk can sprint up.
Expedite
Give him that training he needs.
sickness.
Awesome. You're moving quickly towards that 9,000, but it is so expensive to get our military buildings on in. The Diseased Grove is tempting. Would increase our income by a, what, additional 100? Let's keep saving for now. Because with that additional building in, that'll have all of our factions roster rolling on through then. Including the War Shrine and the Great Unclean Ones. Which will both be world-ending if we can start adding those into our army.
Battle.
Alright, Kugath. To battle. Alright, that is a lot of archers we're going to be dealing with. Let's try to get the elves moving through the swamp over there. We can kind of camp our forces on this other end. So let's go Nurglings. Up front there to receive the Blessing of Arrows. Wait, no one else has to. Exalted Plague Bearers will go Expendables, Festering Stooges, and the others. We'll move them over to the middle very quickly. Last remaining normal Plague Bearers. Gonna go already set up. Let's grab the guild and get them ready to rip. May as well send them around. They're not super fast, but faster than most. Plague Toads. And our Hounds of Decay, which we could hide in the woods. We're lucky. There we go. Perfect hiding spot. We'll grab our Beast of Nurgle. Keep him back here with a Gruncle. Artillery Team Alpha. And Kugath, who can both absorb a fair bit of arrows with their bloated corpses. Your job is just going to be hunting down that noble, so you kind of hang out up front. Drones, we want them very far back. Bolt is keeping our Nurglings fighting. Excellent, so let's go front line. All of the beasties. And our multiple single entities. Copious amounts of spellcasters. He doesn't have the summon just yet, but you've got all sorts of good heals. So as long as we're just making sure all of the abilities are on cooldown, we should come out of this reasonably on top. 3 axes go all the way through. Everyone else just kind of come on in and take positions. Let's see if they're willing to fire arrows at our exalted hero there. You go after the Lothar and Seaguard. You can take shots. Lothar and Seaguard would be the best targets. Let's be real. When getting into position, have the cultist come up front as well, that way he's taking a lot of the shots. Amazing hit. Kugath, you go after these archers now. It says the noble's gonna beat him. I don't think it is correct in any way, shape, or form. Drop down all the abilities. Meanwhile, where's our spellcaster here? All sorts of lovely, deadly spells to use. Ugath drop on these guys. Hounds through. Cultist, you come on in and bother those Lothar and Seaguard. In fact, as soon as you do, we'll drop down the plague boil. On back. Absolutely bodying the enemy general there. Ugath, go ahead and drop off some Nurgling Tide. Take them on out, send them straight into the fray. Almost time with everyone else too. Send them over the top. Let's go hunt some archers. You come on in. Let's drop down the Blight Boil on our cultist here. Now we send forward the boys. Let's grab the infantry. Just send them in. Ugath, go ahead and waddle into combat. Explode on Nurglings. Slaying several. We'll go ahead and give this boy some heals. Just keep the cavalry moving. Keep coming over the top then. Drop off. No, Ugath is doing just fine. Just waddle right on in. Stop these Lothar and Seaguard in the back. Keep ripping shots. Those at who you can. Let's go ahead and keep our flies moving. Hound dogs too, keep them moving through. Barons of the Bog, and then the beasties. We can probably just go for a Curse of the Leper on our hero here. As well as some more heals. Bronco, waddle your way on in. We'll have the guild come on over and fight with the noble fled from our other one, huh? Pull you one away from here. Let's go ahead and slow the noble down. And let the guild deal with him. Show you how we deal with disrespect where we come from. We go for another Blight Boil. Not yet. I'm gonna drop everyone's melee attack here. Bit of an overcast. Issue, we'll charge everyone around. Finish off the poor fools. There is no hope. You'd be right. Bloody nightmare. And there's the victory. We lost almost no one in the fighting. I wish the other army would have stayed in to throw down. Alright, let's sack the settlement, take all their goodies. Nurglish Zealot. Which would be great once we're actually fighting as Slanesh. Nurglish Familiar, and Vinola's gonna be sit back there and do some recruiting. You can channel and come a little bit closer to the Bone Gulch. Didn't quite snag enough gold to upgrade throw in the building we want. Just barely. 9,400. Can we gain that gold anywhere else?
Mighty
And Rictus, they're down to one settlement, which would mean signing any deals with them would be a bad idea.
Fire and metal.
One wants peace.
Call me Lord Craven Tail.
He could offer to join in the war with Rictus. That would make Disciples of Hashut angry. Need a little bit of gold here. Not much. Heralds of the Tempest, who are you fighting? Oh, rest in peace, Boris. Problem is, I don't think we've met enough of these other factions. We can't declare war on them. We can declare war on the Empire.
Embrace my
I'll join your war with the Empire, and you give me what? Enough gold to build what I want?
Let us know.
Sounds good to me. I might just end up piecing out with the Prince and Emperor eventually. If he decides to come over and fight us, we'd be in probably bad shape, but a really weird call. Alright, let's chuck in the Lesser Garden of Blight. Strange conditions recreated in these gardens mimic that of Father Nurgle's very own, aiding the progression of his lesser and greater demons alike. Extra 3 armor for everyone in this province. And that'll just increase as the building grows. Excellent. Here in Fortress of Vorag. Tier 3 for the Tower of Bloody Tooth. Cycle time, -1 for all basic military buildings. I think we'll just snag the Fungi of Defilement to make sure we don't lose our control in the area. Sounds perfect. We've got a nice little nasty growth down here. Grand Duke will have himself a new minion quite soon. We'll go ahead and snag our next technology, being the Plague Infection here, giving us our next Plague symptom, highly contagious, and just giving us kind of a passive bump to all hero and Lord recruit rank.
It's wooden power.
It'll be great, because we're going to need lots of more heroes. I would like to recruit another one pretty soon. Gotta defend the middle here, since it looks like Grimgor is going to be a threat. He is a friend. All this land up here that belongs to Nurgle. None of it belongs to the greenskins, just the green crumbly people. So Kugath, for your next skills, let's give you the Armor of Malady for all of our frontline. For the Cultist, we'll increase our mobility a bit further.
Prepared.
More melee defense. Perfect. Let's give it one more intern here. We'll hang out with Kugath himself. New regional power. Following a string of impressive victories, Grimgor's Ardboys has become a major power. It's imperative for us to make plans to deal with them, either with overwhelming military force or cutting diplomacy. Darkhold receives a plague. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll just have Kugath come on down. I was gonna fight that random rebel army of rats, but they've disappeared. So instead, we'll just have you take down Bitter Bay. If Kilana wants to try to come up north, I can deal with her Dragon Prince building. We'll use our other settlements as bait. We're gonna make more rebellions happen. Dalton's Kugath. Have Sotogov here. 8th inch. Soon, sir. We'll be fighting against the Changers soon. He's all down here in the south. Kairos. Of course, Village is up here in the north, so we may be able to throw down with him pretty soon. Alright, Yingu is defending Hanyu Port, and what is here? Must leave just a few crossbowmen. 3 lances, which we learned were pretty dangerous in the last fight. And then some peasant long spears. If we could set an ambush and convince Yingu to either leave or come down this way, we'll be in pretty good shape. Arborist, you join up. Now the Grand Duke has a proper dangerous army. We've got Chosen now. None to recruit in our pool yet, but almost. Heck yeah. Chosen are gonna be great. Rothflies too. Now we continue to save with the Grand Duke, but we'll definitely need some flyers to help chase off his balloons. Back in the scrap towers. I think we're just gonna go for the control building here. The Fungi of Defilement. Then we'll work towards the actual proper military buildings. Big Barter, let's go ahead and snag in the Cultist Enclave of Spices. With that, I am out of time for today. I have been at Space Wizard Total War. Remember to leave a like for the like god and a sub for the sub thon. See you all in the next one.